Hi, this is Pierre Delacote, working at Planet Technologies. Today I wanted to talk about training and give you some feedback, some experience feedback around trainings. Often the customers are uh, not sure if they should provide trainings, what kind of trainings, how long should be the trainings, because trainings are really expensive, especially if you want to do trainings for all your employees. It can be really expensive depending on the size of your company or your organization. So what are my feedback on trainings? What should you do? What you should not do? I'll just share my experience, and it's probably every organization has a special feeling about trainings. But here's what I've experienced with probably over 100 customers, different customers. So my first feedback is that um, people don't like to come to trainings usually, especially when it's training about how to use the technology, unless really it's not just about technology, but maybe also about how they're going to change the way they work. But generally, they don't want to come to the training because basically they don't see the return on investment for the training. They think that maybe they will be able to handle it by themselves, just that how they handle how to use technology at home. So they're not inclined to go to a training because they're so busy that training might be a waste of time for them. That's probably their feeling. The second feedback is that the people who are going to come to the training, because there will be some, um, are probably not the people who need the training, but the people who have time to go to the training. There's some exception, like for example, for the executive assistant, I think this is a key population to target because they need to understand how they can leverage the technology for them and for their VIP, their manager. So it's good to train them so they can train their VIP and make things change really, especially not only using the technology, but maybe the way they're working with the technology. So, except for this population, people are not willing to to train themselves. And when they come, often it's because they have time, and it's not because they have a need. And people who have a need, so people who will take a huge advantage of better understanding how to use the technology to be more efficient, are not coming to the trainings. So, um, what should you do? So basically, that's why I recommend for every customer to have a champions program. So the champions will help their peers in a way it's not felt as a training, but it's felt as a help, on-demand help. And also you can provide a platform like what we provide at Planet Technology with Evolve 365 of micro learning, so where people can learn a little bit in just a few minutes. They learn at their pace. That will help, but definitely that's not enough. They need to have somebody who's knowledgeable about their work and can pinpoint what's important in terms of learning, what feature, what behavior do they need to learn, because they know the job, they know their challenges, so they can pinpoint to the right resources, and maybe also they can show them the path how to leverage the technology in their environment in real use case scenario. So you should really think about instead of deploying a broad training program, um, which can be important for certain population, like the executive assistant, but it's really, to me, it's really almost mandatory to have a champions program And so the people who you have to train are the champions. That really where if you need to focus on training a population, it's champions, so they can help their peers by practicing. And remember that the best way to learn is to train other people. So in a way, the champions will be more knowledgeable after training their peers. And I like to close this video with a Confucius quote, which is, let me remember the quote. So I think it's, I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, and I do and I understand. So training is really key. If you do practice, and practicing with the help of your peers is with champions, it's the key to success in terms of transforming the way you work. So that's my advice or my feedback of what I've seen. Training is not really successful. People don't like to come to training, especially around personal productivity tools or even collaboration tool, unless they have time. But it's not because they have time that they have a need. And people who really have a need, they don't have much of a time, so they need on-demand help, which is usually the best way to address that is through micro-learning, so they can find really easily a quick video that show them how to do things. But most importantly, they need a champion that they can ask and have a really on-demand help really quickly, and asking the person who knows what the job is really key. So champions is to me, a mandatory program you should put in place in a change management program.